As Catholics, we need to ask ourselves, are we committed to social justice? If that thought makes you uncomfortable, turn off social media and give me 5 minutes of your time. Hi everybody, Matt Brower with the Montana Catholic Conference. About 5 years ago, research out of the Catholic University of America showed that Catholics are terribly deficient in their understanding of what is known as Catholic social teaching. So for example, with the correct answer right in front of them, only 12% of Catholics were able to correctly identify what the Church means by social justice. And yes, the Church does teach that we must work toward building a society that reflects social justice. So what does the Church mean by social justice? Well, it means providing those conditions that allow individuals and groups to receive what is rightly owed to them. Now, St. Gregory the Great once said, "When we attend to the needs of those in want, we give them what is theirs, not ours. More than performing works of mercy, we are paying a debt of justice." So the Church's commitment to social justice is central to who we are. Now, Catholic social teaching really is the wisdom of the Church addressing what it means to build a just world where all people can pursue goodness and truth within the complexities of modern society. This teaching is not something optional or simply some devotional expression of what it means to be Catholic. It's an essential element of our faith. Now, with regard to advocacy and voting, Catholic social teaching is indispensable because it provides us a lens through which we can examine the policy positions of candidates, helping us to assess whether or not those positions are in accord with the gospel. Now, guiding us in this are the 4 permanent principles or pillars of the Church's social doctrine. Those 4 principles are the dignity of the human person, which I'll discuss in this video today, the common good, subsidiarity, and solidarity. Those last 3 I'll discuss in a future video. Now, the Church teaches something profound about these 4 principles. It teaches that these principles express the entire truth about the human person as we know it. Now, these principles, along with the entire body of Catholic social teaching, provide us with the moral framework for advancing the Church's vision for what a just and moral society ought to look like, embodying what we call the consistent ethic of life. Now, this consistent ethic of life has been misinterpreted or abused by some who want to treat all issues with a moral equivalence. And it's been disregarded by others who want to reduce our obligations down to 1 or 2 issues or simply ignore some serious moral issues. But what this ethic truly expresses is the fact that our Catholic commitment to defend human life and dignity is rooted in our obligation to uphold the dignity of every single human person without exception in all circumstances and at all times. It reveals this common thread that binds together all social and moral issues impacting the human family. Now, this absolute respect for human dignity, it stands at the center of Catholic social teaching, and it serves as the principle against which we measure the policies supported and opposed by various candidates. Now, this pillar reflects the truth about human dignity, that it comes to us by virtue of the fact that we have been created in the image and likeness of God and redeemed by Jesus Christ. So you can see why this is so central to the Church's teaching. Just consider for a moment that if you were the only person in the world, Jesus Christ would die an excruciating death for you, just you. And in fact, he did. This is why the Church is so committed to this principle of human dignity. Now, this dignity doesn't depend on whether we're rich or poor, whether or not we have legal status, whether we're born or unborn, wanted or unwanted. It's not something we can earn, and it's not something we can lose. It's ours because of who we belong to. We belong to God. Now, these principles of Catholic social teaching, they're not conservative or liberal, right or left, Republican or Democrat. They're simply Catholic. So whether we're talking about the unborn, or victims of human trafficking, the homeless, the prisoner on death row, or those persecuted for simply living out their faith. Our laws must uphold the inherent dignity of every single human person and recognize that safeguarding that dignity is a matter of justice. Now, it's not hard for us to see why we're owed something in justice. What's more difficult for us is to be committed to the same for others, particularly those we prefer to ignore. And so as we're discerning how to vote and we're filling out our ballot this year, let's remember those words of Jesus. Whatever you did for one of these least brothers of mine, you did for me. Now we have a few videos left in this series, and I'd like to take an opportunity to answer questions that viewers might have. So I want to invite you to email me your questions. I'll make sure to not use your name. If you would prefer, I can keep those anonymous. But you can send me your questions at director@montanacc.org. That's director@montanacc.org. That's my email address. And I'll hope to answer those questions in one of our upcoming episodes. I want to thank you for watching the video today, and I hope you'll join me next time.